Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday and normally on Thursday we don't talk about horror, but tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And that brings us to today's topic. Just out of pure coincidence, today was also the day we got news on the Friday the 13th lawsuit that a lot of people are looking at a little bit more skeptical. But I look at it as this could turn out to be a really good thing. So let's jump right into it. So, as you may or may not know, the Jason Voorhees case with Friday the 13th, the film, has been this roller coaster of crazy. Can one person do the film or can another person do the film? Who actually owns the rights? And it is because this one lawyer in Hollywood has decided to give the rights back to the owners of the original property, which on the surface would always be a good thing. However, deals were made in the past that allowed some of these people to lose the rights to their property, to their creation. And if they were commissioned, do they officially deserve to own those rights? It became sort of this hot topic where even people like Marvel were about to be impacted in a most horrible way. Imagine the Marvel Cinematic Universe if Spider-Man suddenly became owned by DC, which was a real possibility, and still to this day may actually be happening behind the scenes. If you look at this lawsuit, it's a scary thing. Your property could be owned by someone else who could choose to distribute it in some other place. Now, this has been going on for a decade with the Friday the 13th franchise, and it shows no signs of stopping. However, a new CNN Entertainment article leaked today of all days, which is really actually very cool because it also happens to be Friday the 13th tomorrow, and you couldn't have had better news for Friday the 13th fans than a potential lawsuit end. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. Although people are being a little more, as I said, critical of it, a little more thinking that it isn't going to happen, that they're not going to reach an agreement. But let's examine what was actually said. So basically, Miller owns rights to the first film. However, this does not include the title Friday the 13th, and he does not own rights to the adult Jason Voorhees, which means we would have to have a Pamela Voorhees as the killer, and this is not what a lot of fans want. A lot of fans don't even realize that Pamela Voorhees was the killer in the first Friday the 13th, unless, of course, it's your favorite scary movie. And, that type of thing should be iconic, but ultimately Pamela Voorhees isn't the iconic killer in Friday the 13th. That title belongs to Jason Voorhees. And the Jason Voorhees it belongs to is a very different Jason Voorhees than what we got. Ironically, it's not even grown-up Jason Voorhees that became the one that we know today. It wasn't until Jason Voorhees got his iconic hockey mask in part 3 that we knew the face of Jason Voorhees. Before that, he was simply this kid who died in the lake, Camp Crystal Lake. Now, this presents a real problem because Miller don't own the rights to Jason Voorhees. He owns the rights to only one of those. And Jason Voorhees grew up in part 2 and wore this pillowcase over his head. Now, that version is known, but it's not the iconic version. In part 3, he got the hockey mask and boom. So the real problem here becomes who can use that version of Jason Voorhees, because that's all fans really care about. Sure, we want the complete history of Jason Voorhees. However, with all the reboots and all the franchises that are changing up and rebooting themselves either as sequels or as new timelines completely, it's not out of the realm of possibility to see Friday the 13th do the same. So this is why this is important, because officially Miller can do a TV show about young Jason Voorhees. He owns young Jason Voorhees and can do a TV show about young Jason Voorhees. He just cannot do a TV show about grown-up Jason Voorhees. Which means we could potentially get a sequel in the form of a TV show, or a sequel in the form of a movie in which young Jason Voorhees would be the potential killer, or get a reboot where maybe Pamela Voorhees lived. All of these are within the realm of possibility. However, they are not necessarily what we want as fans. So let's look at what Cunningham owns, because the Cunningham side of this lawsuit owns the right to adopt Jason Voorhees. However, as I understand it, they might not be able to use the name Jason Voorhees. Well, without the name Jason Voorhees, what do you really have? So, deconstructing it all, Jason Voorhees is owned by both parties. Miller, the screenwriter, was rewarded the copyright and script for the scripted characters associated with the original franchise. However, that was back in 76. That was back in 76. And 76 has officially changed to where it is not necessarily the way things would go today. And therefore, this lawyer has decided to try to get him the rights to distribute it internationally, because the catch is he doesn't own the worldwide rights to the project. Instead, what he owns is the rights in the United States only, which means in order to get a film or project off the ground, Miller would officially have to make sure that people knew that this was not going to be released overseas. Without overseas distribution, you're not going to get a lot of people to back this project. No big studio is going to want to back this project. Well, okay. So that's that on his side. He has to only do it commercially in the United States. He can't have it go anywhere else. So basically, to break it down, and it's really weird because everyone's really confused about this, and I'm sure watching this video you're like, what? The characters belong to Miller. So even if Cunningham makes a movie, he couldn't call Jason Jason. The hockey mask is a little more complicated because technically that's mostly Cunningham, and he should get credit for that. However, Cunningham has also said that even though the movie set up a sequel, which Miller would now have rights to distribute any sequel, but only in the United States. If he even remotely tried to do that in any way, shape, or form, Cunningham would sue on behalf of his ownership of the adult Jason Voorhees. So what we're looking at here is a catch-22, as both parties officially know that there is a way to make a lot more money at this franchise. And this is where it's good news. Finally, the good news part of it all. If there is a lot of money to be made, both parties are debating in private, not in public, possibly coming to the table with a 50-50 chance that we may see Jason Voorhees on screen again sometime. or see Jason Voorhees in some capacity, even if it's on television. And both parties would probably come together and reach some sort of agreement as to how they could both make money from this franchise. So, that, my friends, is the news that just broke. That this lawsuit may be finally coming to an end, even though the complications are still there. And even though all of the lawsuits and all of the craziness has not gone away. We are potentially at an era where we could possibly be talking on Tuesdays about Friday the 13th's brand new movie or television show. So what do you think? What do you guys think? Should a law that was made in 1976 allow this franchise to go forward with two separate owners? How should this be handled? And shouldn't they all come together for the better good to make money? Leave us a comment in the comment box below because we want to hear from you. And then don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they get the same great content you get. Miko says we need more subscribers, and this face, this one right here, isn't Jason Voorhees. He won't lie to you, and he won't try to hurt you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And then remember, friends, be safe out there. And at the end of the day, fandom is family.